Okay, let's try that again. I'm here now. Okay. Hi. Hello. How's it going? Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So this is an interesting one because I did finish up 2 commissions, as you can probably see in my Discord if you remember. And they were great. I did a little Marvel Crisis Protocol. I did a little bit of old school Blood Bowl, and I was like, okay, cool. I have some breathing room. I can go ahead and just chill for a bit and get back to working on my stuff. But as soon as I handed the product back to the client, they just handed me more boxes of stuff. So yeah, I've got a lot more to do now. I hope my camera's in a good place. I didn't really check since I was a bit late today. I just kind of threw everything on and hoped that it was all working okay. So first of all, hello, how are you doing? How have you been? I hope you've had a good week. I'm Ben Repaints, and I will admit I'm a wee bit overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of stuff that I suddenly have. I have a backlog now of commission painting to do. And this is good. Don't get me wrong, this is very good. I'm very happy that this is the case. But, oof, was not expecting that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started today, I suppose. Let me go ahead and get the camera going. We're going to go ahead and turn off the starting soon. And we're going to go ahead and turn off the starting soon image. And onto the main camera. And there we are. So, like I said, I'm a bit overwhelmed because I wasn't expecting to have so much more to do. They were very kind and didn't give me a deadline. They just kind of said, here you go. I don't want to overwhelm you, so do what you can. But one of the first things I have is this. I'm not sure who Punga Miniatures is, but if the contents of this box is any idea of the quality of their work, they make some really nice stuff, though I'm not sure what the material is made out of. Unfortunately, we do not have Ratman. I forgot to change the to-do list. The to-do list is apparently Witch Hunters, Blood Bowl, missions. So that's what it's going to be for now. So yeah, that's what we've got going on right now. I'm gonna go ahead and move this. Additionally, on top of that, the other thing, because I worked on Loki and I worked on Electro from Marvel Crisis Protocol. In fact, I'll actually go ahead and pull some of those up so you guys have the liberty of seeing the completed product for those who have not had a chance to. Because I'm actually pretty proud of them. I think they turned out really nicely. One moment. Let me go ahead and get those nice and ready. So let's go ahead and where'd it go? Where'd the window capture go? Image window capture. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pull this up. So here is Electro, for those who have not seen him yet. This is work that I did, and I'm pretty darn proud of. So that's what that looks like. I think it turned out really good, all things considered. Let's actually make this smaller so the entire mini, or more of the mini, will fit on screen. There we go. Yep, so there's Electro that I worked on, that I think turned out really good. He's pretty close to the box art, and that makes me happy. And the other one I have is... that's not it. Those are the guys I'm working on today. Loki. I wasn't able to get his eyes because, honestly, combination of I ran out of time and they were just too small for the brushes I have. But there is Loki, who, again, I think I did a pretty darn good job of. I can speak, I promise. So I turned both those in, and the customer was very happy with them. And he just kind of handed me this other box of minis. And so now I've got this to work on. And from what I can tell, just looking at them, I've got Abomination right here. I've got Doc Ock over there, the newest version. I've got Shocker over there. I forget who this is. It's not Heimdall. I think it's the other one that came with that. I've got Winter Soldier right here. I think this is supposed to be Sif. And I feel kind of bad because in his attempt to construct her, he wasn't able to get everything to fit in just right, so she definitely looks a little bit odd. We have Lady Thor right here. I'm not sure who this character is, but I'll figure it out eventually. And I believe this is Shang-Chi, and I forget who this character is, because I'm not like a super huge Marvel fan. But these are all going to get worked on over the next week or so, and hopefully they're going to turn out real good. So that's on the docket. The other thing that's on the docket is, and I wasn't expecting this, I thought they were already done, is I have a lot of little minis that need to be assembled and then primed and put together. So I've got quite a bit that I need to get done today. Well, not today, but over the next week or so. Now, I want to say that these are made out of plastic, but I'm not exactly sure. They do look really nice. Like, this is a dwarf of some kind. You can actually see, I don't know if you can because of the glare, but you can see his poor little face in there. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight, is not necessarily as much mini painting as it is mini assembly, because I want to get these guys put together before I move on with anything else. I'm getting paid pretty decent money for these commissions, so I want to try and get them done so that both the client isn't waiting too long, and so that I don't have them lingering for too long. So let's see what we got here. Got this guy right here, and I'm actually going to test to see if these are made out of the polystyrene plastic that Games Workshop miniatures are, because if they are, that'll make life a whole lot easier. But you can see, very tiny little dude, tiny little dwarf, and it looks like his head is slotted so that this should fit right in there, and he should look okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shave this down a little bit. Oh, that is definitely not plastic. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to have to use just plain old super glue. But I'm going to give it a test. This feels like that really nice injection molded plastic that some developers, some miniature sculptors are using nowadays. And based on the look of these guys, I think it is. So I'm going to put that on there, and we're going to see if this melds together. And I can already tell you right now, it's not at all. So, okay, I can't use the Tamiya extra thin cement on these. These have to be done with super glue, which is unfortunate because super glue is a lot messier and much more difficult to actually put together. Or not put together, but doesn't hold anywhere near as well. The other thing that needs to happen is these were not really well sanded down. It looks like they just kind of chipped them off with a sprue for the mold, and said that's good enough. So this is going to be a bit of a lengthy process for me, which is why, unfortunately, we're not going to get very much in terms of miniature painting, as we are going to get miniature construction. That. Let's go ahead and start. Dabbing just little bits of glue. Now, like I said, what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to have to use these tiny little dabs so that I'm not accidentally getting a whole ton of glue in any of these spots. Okay. It's going to go in like that. Oh, that's a cool pose. And thankfully, because it's super glue, I don't need a whole lot. It'll do just fine, kind of getting measured in there and getting everything to stick together. Here, however, some of this mold slippage does not look good. There we go. A little bit in there. Take the other hand, the other arm, I guess. Fit it in there like so. And there we go. Got an angry little dwarf man. Looking pretty darn good. Let's see if I can zoom him in a little bit. There we go. Fantastic. He's just going to go over in the corner. Next, I think this is supposed to be an ogre of some kind, or a tree person. Looks more like a tree person, so let's go ahead and see what we got here. So I just dump those out right here. And hope and pray I'm not making life too difficult on me. Oh, there's dead guys attached to this one. That's super neat. Okay, we got a long tree limb here with, man, golly, a little bit of scrapage here that needs to come off. And yeah, it's kind of funny because the client was telling me that he's got a set of gnomes that he wants me to do that are leprechaun themed, and he wants them to be in the colors of one of the colleges in the area that he went to. Hey Red, how's it going? Wherever you look, there's dwarves. I know, right? It kind of feels that way. This is a custom Blood Bowl team. These are supposed to be witch hunters as far as I can tell. But I was just given this big old box of minis that are all still in like plastic wrap. So I'm kind of putting these together and we'll see how it all turns out. I'm actually not sure how half of this goes together. I think. Wait a minute. Which end is the front? Okay, I've got it backwards. This end is the front, I suppose, based on how that fits together. And that's the head, so is it going here? I mean, that's what it looks like to me, is that this goes right in here. But this could also, I don't know. We'll find out, I suppose. This one. Okay, yeah, so that's how it works. So how are you doing, Red? It's been a little while since I've seen you. I do know that you yourself were last time we talked, I think was around the holidays, and you were working on doing some gifts for some friends. But it's been a little while, and I hope things are going okay. Okay. That does that. Oh, these legs are spindly. Okay, no, that's better. So they're kind of recessed in here, and that's where the saving comes in, is that it kind of holds together like so. Nah, it is that way. I'm painting up some more old world dwarves. Got the Votan and the Dwarf Blood Bowl team. Very cool, very cool. I recently got paid for a commission. I did a bunch of rubber ducks that were themed to be 40k characters, so like Chaos, Space Marines, and Commissars and the like. And I used that money to buy a gnome Blood Bowl team because it's been a while since I've actually seen them in stores. So as soon as I saw that my local game store had them, I had to jump at the opportunity to get them. Yeah, whoever, I kind of understand why, but whoever like packed these up or post-processed them didn't do a very good job, to be completely honest. So I've got a set of Blood Bowl gnomes still in box sitting underneath me right now as I try and put this guy together. See. I will say I am impressed with how well all of this slots together, because it's definitely creating a really nice, stable base to work off of. Okay. But yeah, see, like you can see, I don't know if you can really, but this entire bit is just a chunk that was part of the mold. And so I guess it's up to me to go ahead and clean off. Which again, I suppose is fine, but just not quite the quality I would expect from a custom sculpt. There we go. Let's make sure. Is this? Nope, that one still needs to be cleaned off. But yeah, from what it sounds like, you're just surrounded by beards and angry people. And I guess when it comes to 40K and Warhammer in general, things could be much worse, right? Let's see if I can that again. There we go. Hopefully that'll look okay. Get a little bit on there. And there we go. See, now we got actually a fairly imposing looking tree man. Very cool. He's got a whole bunch of little doodads too. And I'm not exactly sure where these are supposed to stick out of. I think I'm holding on to the wrong part. Maybe like so. Yeah, that one goes there. So once again, we'll go ahead and shave down some of the leftover bits. Just posted on the Discord of the Finnish King. Okay, I'll have to give that a look in a second. I've got, it looks like almost 30 of these models to do. So I'm definitely kind of zeroed in. I'm trying to get as many of these done as possible tonight. But I will gladly take a look at what you've posted in just a moment. Yep, okay, no, perfect. That's where that goes. I will say, there we go, that these things, that thing is very front heavy. Oh man, that Dwarf King is cool. That's definitely something. I remember seeing him and thinking, man, I want to get me that model. So kudos to you for managing to nab it, and it looks fantastic. Let me go ahead and do a window capture so I can get a shot of that. Okay, here we go. There he is. There's the lad. Look at that model. Look at that paint job for that model. Fantastic job. At some point, I might have to buy myself that guy. He just looks so good. There he is from another side. Awesome job. I love how the blue and the gold really play off each other. And especially with the big white beard, it really creates some great contrast. Makes everything pop. Very, very cool. Okay. Another bird. My goodness, these are such tiny little bitty bobs. So let's see. And again, the problem I'm starting to have is that they put these splashing right next to the parts that are supposed to fit together. So you really can't do anything with it until you shave it down, unless you try and brute force everything in. And of course, that's really dangerous when you look at the size of these pieces. So this one will go right here, I think. Yeah, that one goes right there. And I'm also gonna have to find some new way to store these, because especially with like this is gonna snap off if I just put it all back in the box the same way it came. Okay, let's see. That needs to go that way. And that, come on, you can do it. That needs to go in here. Best of my ability. Oh no, it's sticking to me better than it's sticking in there. They got 20 miners you're batch painting. Very cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I had to do with the Blood Bowl stuff. That's what it felt like. I had a bunch of small rats that I was working on in the same way. Okay, I think that's good. Hopefully it'll seal better. Okay, and I've got this tiny little one. And once again, you can see the spot where they just kind of clipped it off of whatever sprue they injection molded it into. Yeah, the cleanup on this is a lot more intensive than I thought it was going to be. But I suppose that's okay. It's a learning experience for the next time I do this kind of work again. Okay. I can go like that. Hold that in place, and there we go. Last is going to be his head, which doesn't look like... Okay, it's right back there. smooth that out with the knife a little bit. Let's go ahead and give this a dry fit. Oh, that's why it didn't fit last time, because I had it on upside down. That's perfect. Fantastic. I love the Treebeard aesthetic of these guys. Tried to get a raid sent over here, didn't work. That's okay. I appreciate the effort. I'm not doing anything super exciting today. I've got this new commission of Blood Bowl miniatures for a Witch Hunter faction. Hey Lotus K, how's it going? And putting them together is going to be an experience, and I'm going to try and get through as much of it as possible. But yeah, like, look at this tree man. Isn't he cool? I love the, I always love the long beard look, because it's something I'd never be able to do. But I'm having an issue with these posts that were very poorly trimmed off, because I think they were more worried about getting the model shipped. So I'm having to go back through and just very delicately shave this stuff off as I'm assembling them. But yeah, this is a neat looking model. I'll be honest, I really like this guy. I think he's cool. But he's going to go over here. And I've already put this one together. Look at the little dwarf dude. Again, cool little model. Oh, and actually, Lotus K, I don't know if you ever got a chance to see the Death Guard duck. I did finish it, but clearly I finished it off stream, and already got it delivered back to the client. So, are they going on a different base? Kind of? Yes. Oh, for their size, yeah. Actually, I have no idea what that tree person's gonna go on, because I got that. This was just part of the box. And, I don't think there's a base in here big enough for him, because I think the biggest one's like a 50mm. And, he barely fits on there. So, I suppose what I'd have to do is, look up how big it's supposed to be, and, I don't know, figure it out. But yeah, I remember you being pretty excited about the Death Guard ducky. So, sorry that you didn't get a chance to see it. But yeah, they keep coming in these little bags. And there is quite a few of them, so my goal tonight is to try and get as many of these guys put together as humanly possible. And that's definitely going to be slowed down a little by the fact that I've got to go back and clean up every single one of them. And get rid of these little remnants of the posts on their arms and joints and whatnot. Otherwise, they don't fit right. This actually reminds me a lot of Citadel resin, because it has a very similar feel to it. Well, not Citadel resin. What you call it? Forge World resin. That's the one I'm looking for. You wanted to do a ducky for the hubby? They are really neat, and they're very easy to paint, so that's definitely something I would look into. If you don't have a 3D printer, I can always print one for you and send it out to you, because that is something I have done before. And I usually do it kind of at cost, because I'm not trying to turn that into a service I make money off. It's just a thing I do. So if that's something you want to do, we can talk about that later. Okay. Yeah, this is a good look. Oh my goodness, this is a cool looking dwarf. I like him. Let's see what we got. I think... Oh, he's got the pipe and he's holding it close to his face. I see. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get all of that put together before I attach it to his actual shoulder stump. Yeah, I can do that for you. What'll most likely happen, because it's not a significant amount of resin, is I'll probably just charge you for the price of the model and the cost of ship. Because like I said, I'm not trying to make that into a service. It's more just I have access to a nice printer. So, sorry about the blowing sounds. So if I can help someone out, I'll help someone out. Thank you. I'm kind of sad you didn't get a chance to see the process, because I like my high contrast Death Guard look. And it's not something that I innovated. I think I mentioned many times before, but it's a style that I learned from Philon Miniatures. And as with a lot of stuff that has a lot of high contrast, it looks super complicated until you actually do it, or you see someone do it, and then it's like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I love how this pipe fits in his mouth. I think I need this model specifically, because I got a buddy who is big into dwarves, and he smokes a pipe, and this is like perfect. It looks exactly like it. Okay, so this one will just kind of go right here and there. Nice and easy. But yeah, this is just a matter of me trying not to explode the amount of super glue that I'm using. Oh, this one's a cool model. I know he's not super important, but this one's a neat model. I love this one. A+ model. This model is going to get a lot more attention than he deserves, just because it's a good little model. Look at this lad. He's smoking a pipe, looking contemplative. Very, very cool. Okay. And actually, how can I space these a little better? I think the big ones are going to go in the back, and the dwarves are going to go up front. Another dwarf. Okay, I might have to get these for myself, because these, even if it's not for Blood Bowl, these are just good-looking models. I gotta go ahead and shave off the posts again for some post-processing. Clean up. Okay. But yeah, I was pretty happy with how those ducks turned out, given how, I don't want to say how little effort I put into them, because I didn't. I put a lot of effort into them. But I was able to use a lot of little cheaty techniques to make them go faster. And like with the Nurgle duck, I definitely didn't do the best job I could with blending in the shades and everything, because, you know, it's meant for a joke. They were supposed to be tabletop ready, and I kind of went above and beyond for that. But I'm just really happy with how they turned out. Okay, so that one's going to go there. How many were commissioned? Of the ducks? I don't know. I think I don't remember if I got a full picture of them. I think it was something like 20, 18 or 20. Of these guys, that many. That many. A lot of witch hunters going on in here, and I think I've got a picture of like the full thing. Is it that one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely undercharging for it, and I don't want to sound conceited or nothing about that. I just know that I'm charging a lot less than I should have. I think this is the guys. Actually, this doesn't look like the guys. There's no tree folk or anything. So, I guess we'll find out. But there's a lot of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble them, and then I'll go ahead and talk price with the client, because he was pretty excited with the rat men that I did for him. Come on, focus. Thank you. And I'm pretty sure he'll find a way to pay me, not whatever I ask for, but whatever we negotiate. No, 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 no. Okay, there we go. Can go right there. Yeah, these are primarily dwarves. And yeah, actually, let me see, because I do have pictures of the rat men that I was painting up. I think that was the color he wanted, not necessarily. Let's see, there we go. There are the rat men. Blood Bowl rat men. Here we go. Bam. These are all the rat men that I painted, and I did these in about a week. And I gotta tell you, I've mentioned it before, but the bold Purol Red just does a tremendous job of making things pop. So I do gotta say, if you are looking for a good, vibrant red, Pro-Acryl Bold Purol Red just does an amazing job. That's mixed in with like a burnt orange, and it turned out phenomenal. So, yeah. I strongly recommend that red. Okay. Another, oh, this guy's bigger. This guy almost looks like a Zimby. This is what we got to start off with. I love that it looks like he's high kicking, just a little bit. So we'll see how that turns out. Oh, it's because he is. He's like charging forward or taking a step or something. That makes a lot more sense. How long do you think this team may take? I don't know. Probably a couple weeks. It depends on how much time I can put towards cleaning these models, because to be honest, the cleaning and assembling part is going to be the arduous part, because you can see I'm kind of going through this fairly slowly and methodically. Once I get past that, everything else should kind of free up in terms of technique, because to be completely honest, the client really just wants like tabletop standards so that he can play with these models and not have unpainted teams. And I can do tabletop like nothing. Because of this whole commission thing, I have pretty good experience creating shortcuts and making it so that I can get really good results with a whole lot less effort than you'd think. And especially with like these guys, I'm probably going to end up using a lot of slap chop, just because while the models are detailed, he's not looking for display pieces. You know what I mean? Oh, once again, another very cool looking. I love faces. Like, ooh, that's a hole in his head. Like, as weird as that sounds, I love painting faces. I love the contours. I love how the light shines on it. I love trying to get the eyes to have just the right expression. And I don't want to say that I'm really good at it yet, because I'm not. But I do love the experience of getting better at painting faces. Because, I mean, once again, well, you're going to see this. Look at this guy. He's got so much personality. And it's just because he's got a cool face. And I feel like that can really sell a model when you manage to get the face right. One of my favorite models I ever painted, I think I actually ended up redoing because it was just so silly and not as good as I could have done that I wanted to redo the model. That was a Tor Garadon that I painted a long time ago. And I think I've painted over him more than any other model that I own. If you don't know Tor Garadon, he's an Imperial Fist. He's like the captain of the Third Company. And he has like the big power fist. Is kind of his big selling point if you're into 40k at all and into the Imperial Fist. Tor Garadon has the giant power fist. He's got kind of cocked and ready to go. And he became one of my favorite models because he's just really over the top and ridiculous. But one thing I did with him when I painted him was I made him look really stupid. And I don't know if I still have pictures of that, but he just has this like bug-eyed, fat-faced look about him where he looks like he's just saying, bacon. And I just always thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Yeah, I don't think I have any pictures of him, and that kind of stinks. Because, again, it's a fun model. Let's see, any chance? Any chance? No, I just got a bunch of neat pictures. Or not neat pictures, I got a bunch of old pictures of stuff. Yeah, he was already previously. Because I know I repainted him. I just don't remember when. It doesn't matter too much. I'll find it some other time and I'll show it off. That's okay. These guys need to get done. Okay, and once again... Oh, that was my head. I'm going to need to find a new angle for my camera. Okay, I think that's good, and I can't... That doesn't... That chain... Gosh darn it, guys. They keep cutting the posts off at incredibly awkward angles, to the point where if I don't shave them down, they're going to interfere with the model's ability to kind of link up with itself. Get back to painting your sisters. Oh yeah, sisters are cool. I have a small sisters army. I think, and I don't know how much you care about like the points nerfs and the updates and whatnot. But they've got to do something for the Sisters of Battle because they ended up swinging them too hard one way and made them just way too weak with the most recent data slate. So they've got to go back the other way with them and give them something to make them halfway decent. Because they took away a lot of their good stuff. Okay, how on God's green earth am I supposed to fit this in his hand? Especially because it doesn't actually fit in his hand. That's wild. Like, the way this is set up, it doesn't, there's no way for me to link that into his hand as if he's swinging the chain. As you can see how it's clipped, and oops, okay, that needs to dry. Yeah, this model is wild. Okay, and that doesn't even connect. I think maybe I can fudge it. You have a lot of them. I want to have more Sisters of Battle because they are such a cool army. I don't play as much. I actually had to drop out of the Escalation League because of all these new commissions. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where I'm not really playing as much as I'm painting. And yeah, the Sisters are a really cool army. Visually, they're so darn striking. Look, I think I remember seeing you were painting a really neat color scheme on them. Like, it wasn't a typical one. So it'll be really cool to see that as Army on Parade. I'm at a point right now where I've got to kind of hold this together to wait for it to dry. I don't know if you can hear me blowing, and I'm sorry if you can, because that can't feel good on the mic. So otherwise that. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, like there's really no way, because whatever they did have here, it's not connected at all, and there's no connection in there. So I think the best I'm going to be able to do is like take part of the chain link and force it in there, because that wasn't even a part that I shaved off. It's just not there. Oh well, I suppose. Let's hope this stays together. It's broken, can't be worked on. Kind of feels like it, but we're just going to do this and hope that it settles okay. And I'm just going to hold on to this for like 5 minutes, because I don't have much of a choice. Yeah, honestly, I don't know if... Or that'll just work. I'm gonna lay him down, so that way he doesn't get cut. But, the last Sisters model I really worked on was the Triumph of St. Catherine. And I don't remember if I showed her off, but I bought that model as kind of a celebration for getting a job after being unemployed for a while when I was in between jobs. And I remember my goal was I was going to paint the shit out of it and really, really work on that. You have that model too? It is a cool one. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do Sisters is just they have these super cool, super on point, like on theme models that just look great. Like their re-release in 8th edition was absolutely killer. Okay. But my original goal, because I was starting to really, you know, gain some confidence with my painting, was I was going to I was going to paint up the model and really work on it over a period of months, so that by, I think it was last February, I would be able to submit it at Adepticon and try and submit it for like a Golden Demon. It's an incredibly intimidating model, don't get me wrong. The way I was able to break it down was I did it in sub-assemblies. So like each part of it got its own individual time and effort. And so yeah, I tried to paint it up really slowly and really deliberately and do a whole bunch of advanced techniques. And then when I put it together, it looked okay. But it wasn't something that I was like, man, I can't wait to submit this to Golden Demon and see what people have to say about it. And I also didn't have money to go, so I didn't. But one thing I did do was I saw that someone else submitted a Triumph of St. Catherine for Golden Demon, and theirs just completely blew mine out of the water. And they won silver, because the quality of Golden Demon is just so high now that models that should win gold pretty much anywhere else. Yeah, you do have to do it in sub-assembly. I think I have some videos in my VOD on YouTube, or my VOD channel on YouTube, where you can see that I had it broken up and done in sub-assemblies. But that would honestly be the best way to do it, is instead of treating it like one big model, treat it like a unit of 5 with a special unit in the middle and a decorative base. Because that's honestly what it is. And that's what helped me get through it. If you want, I can go find it real quick and show you how mine turned out. Though I definitely did mine in the traditional scheme, which I'm now regretting because I came up with a scheme that I wanted to do after I finished painting all of my sister's minis. Okay. And it looks nothing like the scheme that I ended up having them on. Because I think, what order are they? They're our Martyred Lady. They're the common one, the one with the black armor and the red robes. But yeah, give me a second. I'll go find it. Let me go find the mini. She's buried back underneath a bunch of other stuff. Oh, no, she's not. She's right there. Okay. Oh. Move all of the regular. I also think it's kind of funny. I don't actually have like a generic HQ. I've got the Triumph of St. Catherine, and my wife was kind enough to let me repaint her Celestine because she realized she was never really going to paint the Celestine, and so she was like, "Yeah, you can go ahead and paint it. And if I want another one, I'll just have you buy me another one." It's like, okay, that's right. Why is the camera pulsing? Stop that. Oh god, how do I pick this up? Ow! That self with front. Let's take that. Okay, so this is my Triumph of St. Catherine. I tried to do a marble effect, but I didn't quite hit it. Now I will say under the light, it definitely does look pretty okay. But yeah, this is my Triumph of St. Catherine. Do a slow turn. I tried to do everything non-metallic metal. I tried to do as much as I could with like high level techniques on here. And like I said, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it and how it turned out. But I feel like I could do better now. And I also want to change the color scheme on them so it's silver and blue and gold instead of black and red and gold. But I've glued them down to the bases now, and so they're kind of stuck that way. But at some point, I'll get a chance to play it, and we'll see how bad it's gotten. But the other part is the bottom of the base, which you've probably seen, is an absolute disaster, because it's not like a topper and then a base. They just straight up injection molded the darn thing. So now I've got all of these like magnets that don't really hold on to anything attached to armatures to try and make it all fit in there, so when I put it down in my army carrying box, it holds in place, and it doesn't do a great job of it. So learn from my mistakes there. Find some other way. Let's put this back. I will say, the one problem with this battle is army transport is absolutely terrifying. It's critically harrowing to try and on another note, though, here's, if you're interested, this is my sister's army right now. This is what I've got. So, yeah, I kind of wish that more of them, that I kind of want to go back and change their color scheme, but it is what it is. I will say, though, one of my favorite things about them is that these are 3D printed. Like, the vast majority of these models are 3D printed. This lady, these ones back here are 3D printed. All of this is 3D printed. This group right here, you'll probably put it on something since it's a display paste. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, this squad of like 20 are the only ones that are not 3D printed. So yeah, thought that was pretty cool. Go ahead and see if I can gently put this back down without crushing the vehicle. I also have a ventilator. the one thing I didn't really think clearly on when I made these army boxes. Moving the top shelf. Okay, but yeah, I definitely wish you all the luck in the world and all the good fortune in the world while you put that together, because it was definitely an incredibly daunting task to do so. Okay. Go ahead and take that little nub. Is he? Yeah, he's just holding his fist up in like a power stance. Okay, that works. That can go right there. I'll put you down. I think you're going to do a great job. And that's the best part about this, is that it's going to look great because you're going to put your best effort into it, and that's going to make it look great. Okay, again, with the not very good shaving down. And actually, there's some bubbling happening right there, so shame on them for that. But I guess these are all injection molded resins, so that does make sense, I suppose. Okay, that'll happen there. Yeah, eventually you'll feel like it's time, because that's kind of what happened. I'd been eyeing that model for a long time, and then I was just finally like, you know what, it's time. I'm working on this bad boy. Okay, what do we got? There we go. Oh, this is a fun-looking dude. He's very angry. Go ahead and get a little bit of glue in there. Perfect. On hand. Take one of his... God, I love wars. Take one of his big old hands. Put it in there. It's kind of nice, intentionally or not, that super glue that's kind of creating that bulge is going to end up becoming like a resin that's going to fill the gaps. I think, yep, this one's right here. It'll go like so. Need to work on it because you're planning on doing the Emperor's Children set next. Yeah, geez, well, I will be honest, I was pretty upset that I wasn't going to be able to afford it, but then I realized that, first of all, I don't need another army. I've got so many that I don't play right now. He's so mad. He looks like an angry little toddler. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Angry little toddler boy wants his chicken nuggies. I was pretty disappointed because I really wanted to, what's this? Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well. But yeah, sorry, my brain potatoed on me. I have so many other armies that I don't play, and I don't need to have more of a backlog, so I was like, okay, I'll deal with it, it's fine. And budget's been a little tight because of some financial stuff. It'll be part of your growing pile of opportunities. That's honestly the best way to look at it, and I'm glad that you have that mindset. I've talked about it before, but I feel like calling it a pile of shame, I can get it if you have reached a point where it's having a detrimental effect on your life. But until then, it's kind of like collecting books, you know what I mean? They sit on the bookshelf until you're ready to read them, just like these guys sit on the shelf until you're ready to assemble and paint them. So there's definitely that. But yeah, I just, personally, I was getting to a point where, like, I don't have the money to afford them, which stinks. But at the same time, I just don't have time to play them, and I would actually like to get to playing 40k a little more frequently. Which is what I was trying to do with the Escalation League, but between just limited time and, honestly, these commissions starting to take up my time, that fell to the wayside. So, the good news out of that, though, is I suddenly have a bunch of money for buying the revised Emperor's Children shopping list that I now have. So it all worked out. Because these Blood Bowl commissions, I'm undercharging for them, and I know that. But between these and the Marvel Crisis Protocol ones that I'm doing, I'm going to have enough money to buy Fulgrim and some of the other guys that I want. So that all worked out. Okay, there's this angry little dude. I don't know if this is I think this is supposed to be a halfling as opposed to a, yeah, you can see because of the hairy feet. This guy's a little halfling. So, oh my goodness, he's got a spoon attached to his hat. You've never played 40K? You keep saying you need to learn? Your mileage may vary with that because it's definitely a complicated game, and that can be severely off-putting. But it is, when you kind of start grokking it, I will admit the game is a lot more fun than I expected, because I tried to just kind of learn and play with friends, and that was it. So I never really played against people who really knew what they were doing. It was always us just trying to figure out the rules, and it's like, game's fine. One of the biggest problems with it, probably should start with Age of Sigmar. I have no idea what the complexity level with that game is like, but it does look really cool, and it's one that I want to get into as well. Hence the Ratmen that has been previously seen. And I actually have a decent amount of Stormcast Eternals now, because I bought the Dominion Stormcast Eternals since they were dirt cheap at the time, and since I got Scaventide, I now have even more of those. So I do have a decent starter armory of that. But yeah, honestly, 40K, you gotta work with someone who knows the edition, because if they don't, and they're like where I started, then the game can feel really bad when you've realized you've done the wrong thing, but it's too late, and now you've entered something of a death spiral. And that's kind of what playing 40K always felt like with my friends, because neither of us really knew the strategy or the rules well enough for that to not happen. But like I said, now that I've played some actual games with some people who knew what they were doing, I have a much greater appreciation of it, and definitely enjoy it a whole lot more. Okay, this is a Humi, so we're going to go ahead and put them together. Yeah, definitely worth doing, though, because getting to see your armies kind of march across the battlefield and shoot at each other is actually pretty satisfying, especially when they do something cool. Feels really good to have your army, your favorite models, who you have all sorts of backstory and fun stuff for, do something neat. This doesn't fit right. This is a very poor fit on this model, which is weird. The hubby plays, he has offered to teach me. That's fair. Okay, yeah, in that case, then you're good to go. I think you mentioned he plays Death Guard, so that's going to be an interesting matchup, because those two armies couldn't be more different. Darn it. Yeah, this one's a weird fit. It doesn't quite fit the way you would hope it would, so I guess I'm just going to hold on to this until it decides it wants to dry. And it's like, are you sure this is the right piece? It kind of has to be, because it was in the same bag. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to hold on to that until it eventually decides to do what it needs to do. Okay, so what's happening? I heard another beep boop. Oh, that was my that was my wife playing D&D with her friends. Okay, there we go. That should do it. We're gonna go ahead and go in there. Man, I wish this was plastic. This resin is definitely fighting a little bit when it comes to sticking together. I say as that piece goes in perfectly. But yeah, I feel bad. There was a young man who I offered to paint some minis for him, because he said that his dad was struggling with putting them together and was struggling with gluing everything together and just got frustrated. So I offered to put the models together, and I met his dad and him, and we talked for a little bit about the game, and I think I just got a message from him saying, yeah, I tried to explain the rules of the game to my dad, and he's out. He's done. He doesn't want to. And I get it. It's a pretty hefty investment, but I think this is like the one way for this individual to socialize right now, because they're homeschooled, and so having someone who could help them with that game would probably be good. Okay, I actually like this model a lot. Again, another cool looking guy. These are neat models. I'm impressed with them. He's gonna sit down there. Oh my god, so many of them. Oh, hey, neat. This one's got. So yeah, I think these are the witch hunters that I posted earlier. The rest of them were just kind of hiding in here because I've got this big ogre guy, and he just kind of looks like Robotnik, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, this makes a whole lot more sense. Okay, let's see. Does he have any more stubby parts? No. Yeah. So if you've ever have you ever worked with Forge World resin before? Because this feels a whole lot like Forge World resin, and that's not really a compliment. Because Forge World resin is terrifying to use. It's simultaneously flimsy and brittle, so it feels like every time you do anything with it, yeah, it's exactly that. It's very flimsy, but at the same time, it's very brittle. So it just feels like at any time you could bend it a little bit and get some tolerance, and then you're just going to snap the stuff. And Forge World is very expensive, which you probably know if you've looked at any of their stuff that's made out of resin. Forge World is ridiculously expensive for what you get, and it's a specialty product, so I get it. But it's just like, holy geez, guys, isn't there any way you could not make it $1 million to buy a single model? The Horus Ascended I have is Forge World resin, and putting him together kind of put me in a panic attack, which Darkvolt was kind enough to immortalize with that one sketch he did of my Vipo. Okay, wow. Okay. Okay, yeah, that can smudge in there. I like this guy a lot. He's cool. He's got a lot of personality. And unfortunately, he needs a lot more glue because that post is really, really cavernous under his arm. There we go. That should do it. These are going to be fun just because they're such great expressions. Again, the 30k Fulgrim was a little over 200. Yeah, Fulgrim Transcended is a perfect example of that. He is very expensive. And actually, Aria Silverfire, who pops into this channel every now and then, she put him together. And it was apparently very distressing because they all come attached to these, like, they look like Toblerones because they're just kind of posted together, and then you've got to snip them off of that, and it creates some very odd. Why is it pulsing? I think it's because it's trying to find these guys over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and move them over. It creates some very tense moments as you're trying to put them together or remove them from the post that they're attached to, because they're not on sprues. They're on these weird gates, I guess they're called. And like I said, the material itself is very both brittle and bendy, so you're never sure how much tolerance you're going to have before it decides to snap. Thankfully, that hasn't happened yet, and I've gotten very lucky. And on another note, I know you said that 30k Fulgrim you're looking at is around 200. The 30k Fulgrim scan that I found is going to cost me like $20 to make, and I'm kind of beside myself with that fact because, yeah, that's a cool model. Actually, no, he's going to be even less because I still have some Soraya Tech Tough, and I've got Soraya Tech Fast, which combined make for a remarkably durable resin. And since it's been so cold, I haven't used either of them recently. So I've got basically a full bottom to go ahead and print Fulgrim. And when I do that, I can also print the rubber duck that you're looking for. Or rubber ducks, plural, if you're interested in more than one. So yeah, I would offer to print and deliver Fulgrim as well, but he has so many brittle bits that I would be absolutely terrified of trying to send that to you. So unfortunately, that one's not going to happen. Because it's literally just kind of like piece for piece the Fulgrim model, just not, you know, attached to gates. So you have little bitty spindles everywhere. I know, right? With how expensive that model is, I wish I could help you out there. Okay, yeah, no, that is the right arm. Yep, there we go. What do you think of the 40K Fulgrim, the one that they just debuted around Christmas time? I'm kind of in love with it. You do wish you had a printer. Yeah, they're really nice, but they are definitely their own hobby. One of the biggest things about it is that you have to dedicate a lot of time and money and resources and space and safety equipment to have a resin printer. I really like to do Fulgrim. I think he's fantastic. This guy has a lot of swagger to him. I think that's kind of cool. The way I've heard that Fulgrim described is he looks like 10,000 years of hyper-aggressive plastic surgery, and I think that that's a perfect descriptor of that character. So, at first I was kind of like, yeah, that face is kind of messed up, and I don't know how I feel about him. But no, now I've decided I love him. I think he's great, and I'm going to buy him, and I'm going to paint him up, and he's going to be beautiful. And actually, Mommy Dova also mentioned that they want me to paint theirs up, and they're having one of those spare no expense moments. And I don't know how long that's going to stay the case, but there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to end up getting paid quite a bit to paint that thing up as best as I can. And that is going to be one of those, like, I'm stopping everything else, and I'm just going to spend like a month working on this thing. Hopefully I shaved that down enough. Yeah, you can actually kind of see it. I don't know how well you could... I'm not in love with the rest of the army. I dig it. I think it looks pretty darn good, but that's a personal thing. What are your criticisms with it, out of curiosity? Like, what are your misgivings with the new Emperor's Children line? Well, you were expecting it to look different somehow, and it doesn't meet your expectations? Because I get it. I've seen some people say that, like, yeah, they whiffed really hard on the Emperor's Children. And while I disagree with them, I don't get to decide what their tastes are like. So I'm just curious, like, what parts of it are you not happy with, you know? What happened here? Oh no, that's just a scarf he's wearing. I thought maybe a part snapped off. Like, honestly, I really wish that I had enough money to time and money to actually buy the entire line, because it looks like I hoped the Emperor's Children would look, based on what I read in the Horus Heresy and what I knew about them post-Heresy. I do wish they were able to lean a little harder into the body horror of them really messing up their bodies. Because that was a thing that I read a lot, is that they were absolutely destroying their bodies in search of, like, peak levels of pain and pleasure and all that stuff. And I did not want them to lean too heavy into the sex thing, because I know that that was a huge part of what people think the Emperor's Children are, and I feel like that's really reductive in a way that I just don't find entertaining. Because one of my least favorite things with 40K is how oh no, I lost him. Is how the memes kind of become the reality. And while I enjoy the memes, I enjoy the inside jokes and the humor of it. Just hearing it become the only thing that exists about this faction or this character is just kind of like, there's so much more to it. And so, and I guess the other thing I disliked about it was listening to internet trolls and jackasses online refer to anything that was remotely queer-centric or of that kind as being Slaanesh. And it's just like, that's disgusting and rude, and I wish you'd stop. So, and it goes back to that kind of reductivist thing that I don't like. You're not crazy about the sculpt? That's fair. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting with some of them. Like, I think they got the Noise Marines down pretty good. I like the Noise Marines. The Flawless Blades or whatever they're called, I think they're pretty cool. They serve their purpose, but they're not like the greatest things I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And I don't know what I expected with their line troops, and I'm happy with them, and I think they look great. But it's just like, I don't know what I expected, and so I think that's why I'm not super disappointed or anything. Is it's just like I just wanted Emperor's Children, but the regular troops didn't like blow me away the same way the Death Guard blows me away. You know what I mean? Because I think of all of the armies that they've done for the Chaos Gods, I think, whoa, this hand is going places. I think the Death Guard are the ones that they've visually been the most consistent with and have just managed to be, like, really hit the themes of the army with the representation they have. Okay, do you go, oops. Okay, there we go. Took me a second to figure out how that fits in there. These are some very complex poses. I kind of dig it. But yeah, like I said, I can definitely understand why people were disappointed with it. And I'm sad that they didn't get the wow they were hoping for. Like, I know the Eldar got some really, really banging sculpts. And their new models and their new armies look fantastic. And while I do feel bad for them for the Wraithbone thing, I also don't care that much. I'm just happy that their new models look good. Yeah, I think the Death Guard and the Sisters of Battle, I think, are the two visually best looking armies in 40k. Because they don't look like anything else. And I think that's really, really impressive. Because if you look at any other army, you can tell that they're a derivative of something else. But the Death Guard does the rot decay so well, and the Sisters do what they do so well. Like, you're not going to mistake them for anything else. So that's me. Okay, I got so many of these bags. I'm sorry if the camera's pulsing again. I hope it's not. But I'm trying to... I've got all these little dime bags that I need to get rid of. And I hope that doesn't get me, like, censored or something, because that was a reference. But anyway. Oh, my goodness, I didn't realize there was a Plague Doctor. Oh, oh, yeah, I need to get this army now, because there's a Plague Doctor. I love Plague Doctors. Yeah, who doesn't love nuns with guns? I think it's fantastic. I love that what started as kind of a mixture of, like, a good joke, nuns with guns, which is fantastic for multiple reasons. But it started as kind of, like, fetish bait, which, you know, people have their opinions on that, but like the Repentia, they were definitely fetish bait when they first started, and that's fine for whatever it is, but they managed to kind of redesign the Repentia and kind of realign the Sisters without having to break their core, so that instead of just being, you know, hot women in armor and hot women in almost no armor, they're now fucking terrifying. And I love that, because they are legitimately really scary in how they do things. And I think that's awesome. Okay. Oh god, I love it. I loved Plague Doctors. Plague Doctors are so cool. They're some of my favorite looks. I love Plague Doctors. This guy is my favorite model. At least in this group. This guy, this gal, whoever they are. I love Plague Doctors. They will drop a church on you. They sure will. And then they're going to blow you up with their pipe organ artillery. And that's why they're cool. And they believe in a God Emperor so hard that miracles will happen in spite of his atheism. Oh man, I so vibe with this model. This is a good model. I love Plague Doctors so much. Okay. What's this? Oh, this is just a fat guy. Okay. Yeah, this is just a big beer belly guy. Oh yeah, he straight up is that. He's got a rock in one hand and he's got a beer in the other. So let's go ahead and shave this stuff down so all the contact points fit better. And then we'll go ahead and put them together. Actually, whoever did this one did a half-decent job. So how long have you been into 40K? I think I've asked this before, but I've honestly forgotten. How long have you been like collecting or interested in the Warhams? Because for me, I started back in like 2019, 2020, around the time of the pandemic. A friend got me into it, so I have a fairly limited like knowledge and lifespan with being involved with it. But I also, oh no, that sucks. I also kind of realized that I got into the hobby at just the right time because they've moved away from this awful fine cast plastic and resin into an actual really good material. And so like the shit I'm having to do right now, you don't have to do with your models because the sisters are entirely a line of plastic. And so all of their sculpts are really well designed and fit together really well. There's a lot of consistency across the line. But with some of the older armies, that's just truly not the case, and that's incredibly frustrating to have to deal with. But at the same time, I'll be completely honest with you. I love the old line. I love the old line. I love the old line. I love the old sculpts. I love how cartoony they look. I love everything about them except for putting them together. Started playing in 2022, and I just like the idea of painting them. Was never into the lore. That's fair. When I first got into it, I wasn't either. But the person who got me into the game was like, you should really read the Horus Heresy, because I think you'll like it a lot. And so while I was just kind of in between classes, since I was a school teacher at the time, I downloaded the audiobooks and I started listening to the Horus Heresy. And I don't know if you've ever seen that meme of Danny DeVito in the audience, and he's got like that just stunned look on his face as the camera does the what is it? Is it the Hitchcock pull? Where it like both zooms in on him and the rest of everything kind of pulls back out, and he just goes, I get it. That was me with the Warhammer lore. Because up until then, I thought Warhammer was just goofy and silly. And it is, but some of the writing and some of the stories that they write are fantastic. And I really appreciated what they were doing. This guy's got like a Captain Morgan pose going on. Began as a means to cure my boredom since we moved to a new state. Oh, I get that. My wife ended up doing that. Since I was the one with the house and the job, the stable job, since I was a school teacher, she ended up moving north to live with me and continue to pursue a career as an independent artist. And it meant that she had a lot of time to herself since she worked from home. And that's kind of changed a little bit, but she's found something else that she really enjoys and is in training for that, which I've mentioned a few times. She's becoming a tattoo artist and is apparently excelling at it right now, which I think is freaking awesome. So I look forward to that turning out really well for her. But yeah, I can't imagine, and I've always told her this, like I've always felt kind of bad that she moved up here with me because all of her friends were in the previous state. We're only a state away. It's only like a couple hours drive. But I always felt bad that she moved up to be here with me and like left all of her friends behind. So whenever she's had a chance to go down and visit them, whenever she's had a chance to hang out with them, I've tried to be like, yes, please do so. Enjoy time with your friends because you don't really get that very often. So that's what she's doing right now. Actually, she's playing D&D with a couple of her friends on Discord. Oh, that sucks. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a bubble in the post that's supposed to be holding in to the shoulder slot, but we'll see if that'll all work out. Yeah, it's definitely not, and I guess in a lot of ways I've gotten lucky because every time I've moved, it's been on my volition. So I've kind of been able, and I've had someone there waiting for me. You know what I mean? When I moved to the city I live in now, it was at the recommendation of a college friend who I lived with for a while, and they suggested, hey, there's like 5 school districts in the area. So even if you don't have a full-time job yet, we could have an apartment together, and you can sub at those until one of them hires you. Moving to a new statement, you leaving things behind. Yeah. That really does stink. And I'm sorry that had to happen. And I hope that you were able to hang on to some of those things. Even if not totally. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I don't know. Have you been able to meet any new friends in the state that you're living in now? Because that's been the other thing, at the very least, is that my partner, my wife, has made friends here. Probably better you didn't. Okay, well that's fair. Is that she's managed to make quite a few new friends in this area. So it hasn't been just her kind of holed up in the bedroom or in her office, you know, wishing she was still hanging out with her old friends. This guy looks like he's taking a wicked poop. That's all I can think of. He's supposed to be grimacing. He's got his tongue out on one side. He's got his arms arched like that. He just looks like he's taking a big poop. Hard to meet people here. That's the absolute worst. I don't know how the local game stores in your area do things, but something that I thought was kind of cool is one of the local game stores in my area for a while was doing like painting get-togethers where they would take part of a room in their game store, and they would just kind of reserve for people to come and paint. And that way, even if it wasn't D&D, or I mean Warhammer, you could still meet new people who were pretty obviously going to have some of the same interests you do. Since, you know, you're all at a local game store, and you don't kind of stumble into a local game store. You go in there knowing that you're going to share similar hobbies with the other people in there. Okay. And that worked out pretty okay. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to too many of those. Who does that? Keep forgetting about it. Yeah, see, that's the other part is the big step is the big thing is actually getting out there. I don't know, outside of painting these sisters, what other hobbies you got? Help, get in there. Okay. Turned. That's why he wasn't going in. He's doing like a weird lean. Because this is very much a zombified dude. Not much. Yeah, one thing I found to be very therapeutic has been playing D&D. I'm really happy that both the missus and myself are very into that game because it's led to a lot of moments of just growth and fun. And actually, I accidentally helped her create this whole headcanon about a character she created. And then I ended up giving her even more material to the point where she's now making a small comic about it. It's a game, but you haven't picked up a controller in a while. Has it just been like a lack of good games to play or just lack of motivation? Because I get that too. I used to be a big video gamer, but then for a while it was just like, there's nothing I want to play. I've already played everything I want to play. Okay, his torso does not want to settle in. Lack of motivation? That's fair. A game series that keeps catching my attention, and I've been real bad about keeping it, but I really want to at this point, has been the Yakuza series. I don't know how interested you would be in those games, but I keep forgetting how good they are until I start playing them again. So if that kind of gameplay or if that kind of
storytelling interests you, I can strongly recommend that. Um, if you like RPGs, even though you're only kind of painting them, Rogue Trader is a fantastic way to get into the Warhammer universe without having to know a million bajillion things. And the game itself is pretty darn good too. Okay, okay, yeah. Oh my goodness, everything fits so. That is definitely a pose. This guy he's like voguing or something. He looks like he was caught mid-camera pose. Okay, that's gotta. Golly, this thing does not want to sit in there right. I'm just gonna hold on to him for a minute, let him kind of vibe, because the glue is not wanting to settle, and it's most likely because I keep moving him. But yeah, these are some neat models. They've got a lot of personality to them, and painting them is going to be a blast, I think. One of the best things you can ask for is that models have a lot of texture, because especially if you're doing something like slap chop, it makes doing that a whole lot easier because you get all sorts of contrast across the model, and that allows whatever contrast paint that you're using to really have highs and lows. And I just heard a beep. Hey Darkfold, how's it going? Good to see you. I have been working on this. You have Space Marine 2? Yeah, that game's a lot of fun. I like Space Marine 2. Have you cleared the campaign yet? Because I know they've been doing updates, and I have yet to play them since the updates. I think the last time I played, they added the big old bug. They added the mission with the big old bug. You need to finish playing it? Yeah, well, that's fair. The campaign mode was a lot better than it had any right to be, but I felt like it had a funky ass ending. It's fine. I got more commission. Oh god, yeah, Darkvolt. I got so much commission work. I'm a bit overwhelmed. When I dropped off the Marvel Crisis Protocol figures, you're not great at shooters. Yeah, I feel like the second one did a better job of it than the first one, but there's definitely a feel of like the shooting in that game is a little funky, and it does take a minute to get used to. But yeah, after I dropped off the Marvel Crisis packet. No, I don't. Impoverished sobbing. Yeah, and you're gonna stay poor as long as you keep doing this. I'm not want to follow you. I don't want to whisper. I want to ban the shit out of you, you weenie. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna finish this story at some point, I promise. After I dropped off those 2 Marvel Crisis Protocol figurines, Darkvolt, he gave me the money, and then he reached over and then gave me a box of more of them. And I just got through discussing commission cost with him tonight, actually, and he's gonna end up paying me like $120 to paint these guys. So I have a lot more of that, and I was not expecting that last night, but here we are. And today, I passed off the Ratmen back to their owner, and he was pretty darn excited with the paint job. And he kind of did the same thing. I handed him the box that they were in, and he just handed me another box. And it felt kind of weird because these both just felt like drug deals in a parking lot. So I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to get this one thing finished printing for you so that I could give you that commission, but it wasn't done yet. So here's this one instead. And it's just like, good lord. He wasn't joking. The Marvel Crisis Protocol customer wasn't joking when he said there are a lot of people here who will pay you good money to paint their minis. So I'm putting these guys. Yeah, as it turns out, the Blood Bowl player that did the Ratmen, he told me, and this kind of destroyed me emotionally. It wasn't anything serious, but it was just like, oh my god, I can't fathom that. He's got something like 60 Blood Bowl teams of various types, and he's only got 2 of them painted. So I guess if he likes my stuff well enough, I'm going to be pretty well supplied for commissions for until I decide to stop, or until he decides to stop paying me. Yeah, it does sound like I'm doing commissions for the rest of the year. Given where my finances are at right now, I'm pretty okay with that. Oh my god. Neck, fit in. Okay, that guy's gonna stay there. But yeah, Lotus K, if you ever want, I'll go ahead and extend this offer, and you definitely don't have to say yes or anything. But if you ever want to go through, or want some help going through the rest of Space Marine 2, I'll gladly join you on that. We can find some time, and I can just kind of hop into the game and just shoot shit with you, because that game is fun with just shooting shit. Yeah, so I have at least 2 more Blood Bowl teams to do. There's one thing that I hate about these, is that the posts are in like the worst places. You can see like in the little slot that it's supposed to fit into, there's another post that got severed, because that's how they align this thing for resin printing. And yeah, Dark Volt, by the way, this is exactly like Forge World resin, and I'm kind of not happy with it. The resin that they use to print these things, it made for some very crisp material, or very crisp details, but it is like the most annoying thing in the world to have to shave and sculpt. Whenever you pick up the controller again, fair enough. No rush, no hurry, none of that, no pressure, none of that stuff. You know where I am. You're on the Discord. There we go. Oh no, it's inside the slot too. You son of a gun. You sons of gun. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just cut off the posted area and attach it like on the surface level. But yeah, this is kind of bad. I'm not fond of this. I mean, you guys are getting to see a pretty, I don't want to call it harrowing experience, but I want to remind you that I am a lazy bum, and I haven't actually switched out the blade on this knife since I got this knife like 5 years ago. So you're getting to see someone with, I guess, modestly good motor skills work with a very dull blade on a very brittle material. So there's that. Okay. And yeah, what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shave this down, because there's no way on God's green earth that's fitting in there. Oh, especially because there's like webbing in here too. Okay, there we go. That's going to have to work. And let's do a dry fit. Oh, look at that. It's still, wait. Yeah, it doesn't fit. Or maybe it does. I'm a genius. Look at how a genius I am. I believe in me. Just drill both ends and pin it with wire. I think I'm gonna have to reach back out to the guy and be like, hey, the assembly of these models was considerably worse than I anticipated. These things were basically Forge World resin, so we might have to renegotiate price on this one. Because, yeah, putting this together, it hasn't been the worst thing in the world, but, I mean, you remember how panicked I got about assembling Horus. I haven't had that moment yet, but the material feels exactly the same. So I'm definitely having some very strong feelings about what's happening with these guys. There we go. See, he's pointing, accusingly. How dare you use this crummy-ass resin? Now, the thing that sucks about it is you haven't seen some of these models, but these are fantastic-looking models. Like, they're really fun. They've got a lot of personality. They're very detailed. They're not, like, over-complicated and over-designed. They look good. So I'm kind of annoyed that, that the resin on them is so bloody annoying. One moment. Darkfold, I forget. How do you feel about dwarves? What's your feeling on dwarves, Mr. Darkfold? But I mean, like, look at this guy. He's got so much personality. Such a cool looking dude. I dig it. Assembly, when you want it done well, including removing flesh, it can take up more time than the painting itself. Exactly. Okay, well, check this out. Look at these dwarves. Tell me these dwarves aren't just, like, perfect. Look at this little guy. Look at this perfect little guy. He's perfect. I love him. And he's not even the most perfect. Let me find the most perfect dwarf. Because I'm going to fawn over these dwarves for a second. I love dwarves. Look at this guy. He's perfect. This is the best dwarf. He's got a pipe and everything. They molded a pipe and had you fit it into his mouth. He's so good. And then they got this Treebeard motherfucker over here. Look at this Treebeard guy. He's got perfect face and perfect beard. I love these. I love these so much. They make me so happy. And as I was talking with Lotus K about this, they made a freaking plague doctor. And again, I love plague doctors. I think they're so cool. So like this plague doctor, perfect, lovely, A+. Unfortunately, made with the shitty resin. Oh my goodness, this is a dog. Is this? It's a bulldog. No, it's not a bulldog. It's still a good boy. Yeah, Forge World may use weird resin, but their sculpts are chef's kiss. Yeah, I know, right? I think this isn't even Forge World too. That's what kind of got me. I've never heard of this company before, but like I said, he just handed me this clandestine box. Punga Miniatures. So if you're interested in getting minis like this, look for Punga Miniatures. Yeah, here we go. pungaminiatures.com, facebook.com/Punga Miniatures. They do Blood Bowl, and I don't know what else. But I just realized this, and I'm sorry for turning into a small child who can't talk right anymore, but I just realized this. There is a dog attached to this. There is a dog attached to this Blood Bowl team. All my complaints are gone. I have no complaints anymore. They've won me over. They have hit the nerve. They have given me the correct bribe. They gave me a dog to put together and to paint. And if there's anything that you need to know about me, it's that I have an unassailable, like incredibly strong love of dogs. And as I've gotten older, it's become like less and less discriminatory. I used to hate small yippy dogs. I don't hate them. I love small yippy dogs. I used to be worried about having big dogs. Nope, big dogs are awesome. They deserve all the love and attention that they get. I love dogs. Yes, good pups do make everything better. Like this one's got a post right where it matters. I don't care. I'm shaving it down. His head is going to fit perfectly because he's a good boy. I have an old English bulldog upstairs, and I do feel kind of bad that I don't spend as much time with him as I wish I could. I used to try and bring him down here and hang out with me while I painted, but he would get anxious and want to go back upstairs. So I get it, but it's like, man, I love my dog, and I want to spend more time with him. Okay, here we go. Put this back. Oh my gosh, this is actually a bulldog. It looked like a bulldog. I thought it was a bulldog. Oh, look at the little boy. Look at the little boy. Look at this perfect little boy. He even grabbed the football. He wants to hang out and be friends. He's gonna play fetch with you. He's got a football. He's such a good boy. Oh no, I dropped the boy. It's okay. He's okay, folks. He's fine. He's going over here where he can be safe and not get dropped again. Okay, what is this? This is an old man. This is not a little dog. This one's an old man, but that's okay. Oh, that's a priest. That's a cool looking priest. I'm gonna do the priest instead. Oh. Did the priest break? Oh no, that's fire that goes into the brazier. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this stuff out as I'm working on it. There are no assembly instructions, by the way. Thankfully, oh man, look at that. That's a 40k robe if I ever saw one. Pup makes price drop. Yeah, right? Exactly. I am now thinking of charging less because of this. I hope this is what I think it is, but I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. That's just funny. Okay, so my head was probably in the picture, but so here's the priest, and here's the priest looking all angry and stuff. The priest has a big old hole on the top of his head. I don't think that's supposed to be there because it doesn't look like anything fits in it. So yeah, this priest just has a big friggin' hole on the top of his head. And I don't know what to do about that. Actually, no, I take that back. I do know what to do about that. This is actually a perfect example of why having UV resin is a good thing. Because what I can do is I could take some of my UV resin and just kind of plug the hole in his head, as weird as that sounds, and then hit it with the UV resin and the UV ray, and that will kind of seal the hole, and then I'll paint over it. Does it look like a bubble? That's definitely a bubble. You tell me, Darkbolt. Is that a bubble? You know what? I have an idea, guys. I have an idea. I don't know. Does that look like a bubble to you, boss? But I have an idea. Just give me a second. I've got an idea. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me cook. Oh no. Okay. That didn't work. I do have an idea. Come on. Yeah, it's not very deep either. Because I was going to do this. And just kind of leave that in there. But it's not deep. Wait. No, it's not deep enough. So I can't balance it on... Oh, I did it. I did it, guys. We saved the city. He now has a new head ornament. And I think I should just leave it like this. No. Okay. But yeah, there's nothing to go in there. He's got like a flame bit that would be hilarious if it fit on his head. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go in like the little incense brazier that he's got. And he's got actually wait a minute. He's missing an arm. Sir? Sir, excuse me. Uh-oh. This priest dude is missing bits. Cause I've got one arm there, I've got one arm there. Yeah, so he's just got a hole in his head. Bubbles are unnaturally smooth on the inside since they didn't contact with the mold. Yeah, I think that's what happened there, is that there's a bubble in his head, and we're just going to deal with it. And by we, I mean the client, because I didn't make it. What I think I am going to do, though, is I'm going to use some of the UV resin I have. Sir, you may appear to be a man of the cloth, but you are incomplete. Exactly. But yeah, what I think is going to end up happening is, first I'm going to see if this actually fits. It looks like it did, so that worked out. I think I'm just going to use some UV resin and smear it on his head. And then use the UV light to harden it, which will hopefully fill in the hole so that when I paint him and prime over it, no one will know. Except for, you know, the dozen or so people that are probably going to watch this video and see that I just spent an entire video mocking the fact that he's got a hole in his head. Okay, so how does this go in here? Going like this? I really should have paid attention to how I was... Oh, I see. They did not make this the right size to fit in this little post. So I think it's just gonna have to hold like that. Check the website of the company and check how the model is meant to look assembled. Yeah, I'll probably do that after I finish working on him. Or is it supposed to go? Oh, I see. Yeah, they made the post too thick, so it doesn't quite fit in there right. And now that I've got glue, I'll just go ahead and tape it down myself. To say, now that I've got glue on it, I'm kind of hesitant to mess with it, but as I've mentioned before, this blade is so hecked up it doesn't matter. There we go. Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing, guys. I'm more focused on not slicing my hand open. Okay. Just make sure there really isn't an intended piece for the head. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. And that goes here. And there we go. Now it fits. Okay, I was correct. And see, gosh, this is so very 40K. He's got a book on a stick, on a rack. So yeah, everything is matching up. Everything is going where it's supposed to go. And this fits in his hood, which, you know, makes no sense, but who cares? It's funnier that way. So this goes here and slides in right there. And yeah, honestly, I don't think there could be anything to go back there because it just wouldn't fit. You know what I mean? Does the stick go in his head? No, there's a depression in the hood, and the hole in his head is too small for the stick. Though I honestly think the model would be better if the stick went in his head. It'd be much funnier that way. And then we've got this flame, and the flame is supposed to go in the little jar that he's holding. And now that I think about it, I probably should have put this in first. I'm probably gonna have to remove the arm and put this in there. Or I'll just be epic and I'll drop it in there and everything will work out because I'm good at my... I did it! I did it! I'm good at my job. Okay, he's gonna go back here next to the dog and hopefully not set the dog off. Okay, we got more halflings. Wow, there's a lot of these dudes. This one, okay, this is a fan. It's got a #1 fan foam finger. So I think this one's next. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I think he's also a zombie, which makes this even better because that's like the perfect for sports fans. Yep, he's... Oh. You guys are gonna like this one. Give me a second. We're gonna shave this down so everything fits a little bit better on his scalp. I'm gonna go ahead and shave that down a little bit. So we were just talking about weird shit going on these guys' heads. You can see that he's missing a clump, but look what goes on him. The dude straight up has fire on his head. Yeah, there are a lot of models. The way I typically do my commissions is very favorable to the client, to be honest. Since this isn't my main source of income, I kind of want to encourage them to spend money with me, but not price them out. So I typically say that my cost for the painting part of the commission is the price of the box. And in the case of something like this, that would mean that for about a dozen models, it'd be like $50, which is honestly criminally small. I should probably charge more, but at the same time, I don't want people... I'd rather have the money than not. This one is clearly quite a bit more than a dozen models, so I'm gonna have to look at how many there are. Yeah, I typically go by like Games Workshop pricing too, which gets me a little bit more money, but not as much as I deserve. So he's got a foam finger. Admittedly, like I mentioned, I kind of do a lot of this for the love of the game. Okay, I love this guy. This is good. And don't worry, Lotus K, the good news is... Actually, I take that back. The good news is not that you're going to get to see how I break this process down, because I'm probably going to do a lot of this off camera. But batch painting helps a lot with these guys. And the fact that they're all going to kind of be slap chopped is definitely also going to help. So it's not really a matter of how many there are, it's how many can I crump together at once. And that's going to make things better and far more manageable for me. Oh my goodness, look at this guy. He's great. But yeah, I don't know, let me see. Like, oh, my back. I bought these, and I'm happy I bought these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 14 models in here, and they're all really tiny. And oh yeah, I tore the plastic off. I believe this box was like $55. So if someone had assembled all these and had them on their bases and gave them to me and were like, hey, how much would it cost to paint them to tabletop? I would tell them $55, price of the box. And to assemble them would be another half of the price of the box, which is $27.50. So altogether, I'd probably ask for like $85 to get this done. But that's still obscenely underpriced for the quality that you guys have seen me paint stuff at. But at the same time, it keeps commissions flowing my way. So, and for a while it didn't. And that was partially why I keep the price down, because I wasn't getting anything. And I'd rather have some commissions and make some extra money than not have anything. What are these things? Oh, these are great. You guys need to see these. These are status markers, I think. And there's no assembly required. They're just cute. We got this guy. He's prone. And we got this guy, and he's stunned. But yeah, if I start seeing that my painting talents are... These are excellent markers. At the same time, I can up the price. That's probably what's going to start happening soon. Because, like I said before, I know that I'm really selling myself short. Like, you guys saw the Marvel Crisis Protocol guys that I did last time. I charged $10 each. And I saw these models, and I told them, you know, I've got to raise the prices a little. For the two medium-sized guys, I'm charging 15, and for the big guy, I'm charging 20. And for the level of quality for those paint jobs that I did, I probably should be charging substantially more. But once again, I like having a job to do, because this is how I'm paying for my hobby. So the fact that they're willing to pay that money is fine, and at some point, if I start getting to be in higher demand, then yeah, I'll start raising prices because my time will be worth more. I'm selling myself short. Yeah, I kind of realize that, but there's a lot of imposter syndrome that goes along with it, which I'm pretty sure you guys are well familiar with, because if you do anything creative, unless you are just supremely confident, you never kind of feel like it's as good as other people say it is. So for quite a while, it was just kind of like, am I really worth that kind of money? And I'm starting to really realize, especially with this stuff, the answer is yes. And that's why I probably should be charging more. And that's probably what's going to start happening, because this is a terrible sculpt, actually. This grenade has a hole in it. I'm definitely going to need to start being able to make some more money off of this. Intimately familiar with imposter syndrome. And see, Darkvolt, I get that. And I'm not trying to discredit that at all, or whatever. But you're like a tremendous artist in my eyes. And I think your art is fantastic. And I can believe, but at the same time, I find it hard to believe that you have imposter syndrome regarding your art. Because, like, just as an example, when you first did those depictions of my avatar, I just about fell out of my seat. And I mean, you saw how excited I was for them, and I still think they're like the coolest thing ever. And all of the art that you show off during Community Day, the same thing. It's like, Jesus Christ, how do you have time to do such amazing art? Because it's always top notch, at least in my eyes. But it's that same thing. It's like, it's imposter syndrome. The only person who really can understand it is the person who has it. So, you know, it is what it is. Also, once again, another great sculpt. Okay. Let's see. What else is happening? I keep getting alerts, but I don't think they're for any of my stuff. Yeah, it looks like it's all for my wife and her D&D game. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Because even with what's starting to become increasing external validation, it's still weird to think that, you know, I'm really good at this. Oh, this is a little lad. This is a fun little lad. He's getting done next. And yeah, at some point when I have some money, Darkvolt, I'm definitely going to have to commission you to do some more of that art. Because I definitely would like some more things like emojis and whatnot for the Twitch, and possibly some more like talking stuff, so that I can actually make like an animated Hootie, guy, instead of one that just kind of bounces. Because I do plan on continue. Oh my goodness, he looks. This is a good model. I think you guys are. I think you guys will. Oh well, are going to enjoy this one. Give me a second. Let me get his head on, because I think you'll like this guy. This is an expression. Look at the expression on this one. That's pretty fantastic. So yeah, and yeah, I'm the same way. If you give... Oh, I thought he had a football. He's got a sandwich. Okay, Mr. Halfling, you're perfect. In every way. Don't ever change. Yeah, he's so pouty. He's got that punum. He's also, I thought he had a football in his, oh, he does have a football. He's got it in the other hand, but in his left hand, he's just got like a sub sandwich, and that's pretty awesome. Again, these models have such fun character and personality behind them. I'm very happy I got a chance to do these because I think I'm going to need to get myself a set of them. I believe the creator, yes, oh, whoop, I dropped him and his arm fell off. I believe the creator has just like the STL files for sale on My Mini Factory, so I'll probably paint them or print them using my stuff. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. You're looking at the website. Yeah, their models look very fun. Oh, very cool. You'll have to find some ones that you think are super neat, and I'll have to see if what I can do about printing them. I think I've got enough time for one or two more in terms of assemblage tonight, and then the rest of them are gonna have to fall on another day. Because this is definitely one that I want to get done relatively quickly. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get a chance to work on my Kill Team stuff or on the Skaven, because I do want to get those done as well. But honestly, making money is a little bit higher priority for me right now. Because actually, I think other than like touching up the bases a little bit, I'm done with all of the Skaven except for the Warp Cannon. The Warp Cannon dude. I don't remember what it's called. The big one, the big mounted gun thing that came with the starter box. That's like the last piece that I really need to work on with the Skaven Tide Skaven. And I'd honestly like to be done because it's... Some of these aren't made out of that resin. This one feels like it's made out of plastic. But yeah, I'd like to be done just because I've had a habit so far of not being able to finish much. Like, I'll get started on it, then I'll get distracted. So being able to finish the Skaven would be a nice little bookend to say, hey, I finished something. Getting some money and getting a bit of a positive reputation, it'll take some time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, this is where I got with this guy. And I didn't realize it, but I think I did a pretty good job on both the lumber and on the metal. So all that's really left for me to do is the base itself. Hey, Shiny Mew Paints, how's it going? And like all the inconsequential bits, because everything else looks pretty good, but I'll have to work on this some other time. Right now, I need to finish putting these lads together. There's a big one. I'll go ahead and do the big one. Yeah, the wood is speed paint, which is, again, tells you just how far I've come with my opinion on speed paint. And the gun is just like dry brushed metallics, so it just all ended up working out really well. So yeah, what I'm doing, Shiny Mew Paints, is I got another set of commissions, and I got the one of them primed up, and it's all ready to go basically for painting. And these guys, I didn't realize came completely unassembled. Ah, crud. And so I'm having to shave down bits and bobs, putting finishes and touches on the gobbo. Very nice. Oh, that's not... Okay. Oh, okay. Those are straps. And so I've spent, like, the last... How long has it been? Almost 2 hours shaving and assembling these lads. Find the Brazier lad, and the head is definitely a bubble. Hunter team. Hunter made. Oops. Oh well, that's okay. If I remember right, actually, you know what? I'll be right back, guys, because I gotta check on something. Is this the same Ratman Warriors? Is this the same? Is this the same as? No, these are actual Ratman Warriors. I'm mildly disappointed. Okay, fantasy football. They have names. That makes me happy. I'll be right back, guys. I promise. Just give me a second. Hi, rats. Okay, no, they went a different way with it. Yeah, they went a different way with it. Okay, so these gnomes are awesome. I kind of love them. These pirates, yeah, they went a much more violent way with the rats, and they look fantastic, but they're not what I'm looking for. I want to get me a Glart Smash Rip. I have an unfathomable need for a Glart Smash Rip. So at some point, I will get myself one. And, I have a couple of STLs that I can download, but I eventually want to get me the real one. paint me up a Glart Smash Rip. And I honestly don't care if I ever have a Ratman Blood Bowl team. I just want Glart. Justice for Glart. Like, I don't know if you guys saw me have that conniption on the Discord channel, but I wasn't joking. I love that model. It's a fat fucking rat, and there's nothing better than that. Okay, actually, Shiny View Paints, you asked on the channel how the Goblin has come along, and I mentioned that I haven't really painted it, and that is the case, but I do have the lady. She's right here. She will get painted eventually. I'm actually going to break out my super tiny brush, my super fine brush to paint this one, because that's the level of detail I'm going to need for it. It's going to look fantastic when it's done, but until then, until I have time, she's unfortunately been sidelined so that I can eventually get to work on her and actually dedicate time to her. So that's the thing that's happening with that. Right now, how many more do I have left? So let me do some quick counting now, actually, while that I'm at a break point. How many have I done so far? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 models. I have put together 24 models. And we've got 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, yeah. I'm going to charge a little more for this one because there are 36 models in this thing. If 12 is about $50, then this one is going to be at least $150 before the assembly stuff. So yeah, this is going to be almost a $200 commission, if not more. I'll have to talk with this guy before I do too much with it, because I don't want to start working on it and be like, yeah, you owe me $200, and he's not aware that he owes me $200. Because there's a lot to this. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll message him probably tomorrow and be like, hey, so I opened up the package and I started assembling. There is an incredible amount of minis in here, and because they're resin, like I haven't done half the cleanup on these things. I've just been so intent on putting them together. But I don't know how well you can see it. There are mold lines all over these guys, and by and large, they're fairly fine, but they're definitely there. And they're just going to become incredibly angry and gross looking if I leave them there and don't do anything about them. So I've got to shave all of these guys back down a little bit and try and reduce the mold lines as much as possible. And if I do that, I'll talk to them first and be like, hey, this is a thing, but to do all that, it's going to cost a little more than the last one. Because there's many more models to this than there was to the last one. Okay. You go this way. But yeah, guys, don't be like me. Know your worth. If you decide to get into commission, if you decide to do something that involves you getting paid, know your worth, guys. Don't pull a Benry Paints and undervalue your labor. I'm really bad about following my own directions, my own advice, but know your worth. Oh, there was supposed to be a dealy-do there. That's okay. His head is going to fit like so because I said so. Or maybe it's not. Holy hell. Okay. How are you supposed to fit on there? Is it like this? No. Is it like this? Oh, it's like this. Okay. If he does not accept the renegotiation, he's at least got his models assembled and cleaned. Yep, pretty much. I don't think it's going to be an issue because what it sounded like is he's pretty desperate to have these things painted. And he was pretty jazzed with, oh, is it like this? I have no idea how this neck is supposed to fit on. $50 for assembly and cleaning. At the rate that these are at, yeah, it's going to have to be something like that. I have no idea how this head's supposed to fit on his neck. But yeah, like I was saying, painting these, I would have charged $50 for a dozen of these. There's 3 dozen of these, so it's going to be at least $150 for just the painting part, and then another $50 for the assembly and cleaning because of how complicated these guys are. I have no idea how his head's supposed to go on here. I know I've said that a few times, but my goodness. I do love the expression though. Again, another ace. Dagnabbit. Another great model with another great expression. Yeah, this isn't sticking. How dare you? How dare you? I guess I just gotta hold it. So how are you guys doing? What are you all up to? I'm trying to cram a zombie's neck stump into his head. Okay, no, I'm just gonna pat this down and try again. Sometimes the glue reacts weird, and I don't get it. But it is all based on moisture. And so if it can't get that, it doesn't do a very good job. It's burrito time. Burrito sounds really good. I have not had anywhere near as much Mexican and Tex-Mex as I wish I could have. Is that a poster? No, that's an earring. Okay. Mr. Zombie Man, why is your head so weird? I legitimately don't know how this thing's supposed to go on here. Doing okay, putting some more time on digital work at the moment, but we'll still be painting here a bit here and there. Yeah, because you cleared out your Dark Angels backlog, didn't you? I don't recall if you actually got it completely done or if you just managed to make like a huge ass dent into it, because I know you got super motivated near the end of the year. Not quite cleared out yet. Managed to get me an old Dark Angels metal captain last time. Very cool. Yeah, see, I've mentioned it before, but that's kind of one of my long-term goals with this hobby, is I want to find and own an old school, like, smaller scale model set of Firstborn. And I think we talked about that already via, like, eBay and whatnot. Just a whole ton of older, not true scale, whatever the old scale was called, Firstborn. That's the word I'm looking for. Firstborn Space Marines, and paint them up as like the bright yellow Imperial fists. Nope, it stuck to my hand, not to the model. I think I need a little bit more juice in there. There we go. There we go. That's how that fits on there. There we go. Okay, as frustrating as that was, I think that's where I gotta end it, because it's 9:15, and this is around the time that the dog, my wonderful pup, he starts getting antsy because he needs to go to the bathroom, and I should also probably clean up so I can go to bed at a decent hour. There is a good chance that we are going to experience some more weather tomorrow, so I might have a day off. And if I do, I'm probably going to take the morning until about lunchtime for me to do some more painting and assembly. And if I do, I'll probably be back. You're at the point where you don't mind having an at least small one all-mental army of vintage Dark Angels. I think you can too, because you've got quite a few. I'm trying to think, is there anything else fun that I've done? I think, I don't remember if I showed it off the stream, but this is the Flesh Terror that I ended up doing. This was the Flesh Terror guy that Dark Vault you helped me kind of design with advice, and I think he turned out pretty okay. Unfortunately, I think the volumetric highlighting I did kind of got lost amongst all the other stuff, but that's fine. Yeah, Dark Vault suggested that he shouldn't look clean, and that he should have some more like battle-worn armor and dirt blood. So I kind of went that route, and I actually really like it a lot. And I'm going to do something similar with the rest of the kill team guys that I got, because they're not going in my standard armor; they're going in the kill team. So hopefully that'll be good. What I'm really excited about though is getting to work on these guys, because these guys are all going to get the Death Guard treatment that I've been doing, and they're going to look fantastic. I love the Death Guard heroes. I think they look so good. They've got such cool expressions. They got great poses. The only thing I don't like about them is that their bases are unique to them, so they don't always have great room underneath them. Yeah, have you seen the Malignant Plaguecaster, Lotus? Because he was a Japanese exclusive model for a long time, and they've released him as part of the Kill Team now. So that's not the Plaguecaster. This is a cool guy. He's not the Plaguecaster. He's got an icon. He also managed to get a complete set of old Deathwing Knights on sprue. Holy cool. That's really neat. You think the hubby has... Yeah, let me find him. Because you're probably right. How did he get gold on him? This guy. And actually, no, it does look like there's enough blank space on the bottom. Let me magnetize these guys up a little bit. And I think I might have shown them off before, but something else I kind of did that I thought was cool. This guy is made out of Deathwatch bits and custom bits. He's going to be just kind of, he found and bought the Japanese set. That's pretty awesome. I hope he didn't spend a ton of money on it because of, you know, how much the price has dropped. But yeah, this guy's made out of custom bits from Marta Punk Girl and Deathwatch bits. So he's like just a bespoke Space Marine captain, and I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. I think he's super neat. So yeah. Aha. And something else, Lotus, have you seen or heard of Necromunda? Because I forgot I had these models, and I never finished painting them, and I kind of regret that, so I'm going to start working on them again. But Necromunda is like skirmish gang warfare? Okay. So yeah, I was working on these ladies, and I completely forgot about them, and I found them in a drawer. So I'm going to start working on them again at some point as well, because again, really cool models. They deserve to look super detailed. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I don't remember Darkfold if you saw, because it was one of my earlier like community day things, but I made the leader look like Onsta as best as I could. So the leader of my Escher gang is essentially Onsta, and this is what I got. So she's got the purple hair. I gave her the Yakuza floral print. Yeah. I'm kind of sad she wasn't there to see it, but I still love this model. And at some point, I will actually play a game of Necromunda. And yeah, this boss's name is going to be Onsta. So yeah. These were some of the first models that I did where I was actually like trying to be super detailed and super tight with all of my skills and whatnot. So the rest of them will end up looking pretty good too. And Lotus, I don't know if you've ever seen Onsta before, but Onsta is a creature, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. She is an incredibly energetic and peppy individual that really loves Yakuza. She lives in Japan right now as an artist, but she is a person. They are a person, and yeah. If you ever find yourself just trying to find something to put on in the background and you want to turn your brain off, I strongly suggest you look up Onsta on Twitch or on YouTube and just watch one of their playthroughs of something, because they are such a force of nature. Okay, all of these can, yeah, there we go. I'm done. My brain is now potato. Oh yeah, you guys want to see something wild? Here are all the bases. Speaking of the community, and I don't want to be a bummer, but I might get some cow in the future. At least a kill team in memory of Pilkey. Yeah, yeah, finding out about Pilkey made me really sad. I think it was before you really started hanging out here, but Pilkey was like the first person to visit my stream to support. And I actually ended up hanging out on their stream for a bit, and when I came back, they had raided Lady V, so that's how I found out about Lady V. And Pilkey was just such a good person that I'm still not handling it well. And yeah, I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing, to be completely honest, because Pilkey deserves to be remembered. Lotus K, just so you're not left entirely out of the loop, Pilkey was a member of Doig community and a really good guy who unfortunately passed away last week after a bout of cancer. So we're both really sad about that. But yeah, we're gonna have to honor Pilkey's memory in something really positive because I feel like that's what they would have wanted. They were a really good dude, and they're very fondly remembered by everyone that they interact with. So, yeah. But yeah, on a slightly lighter note, do you want to see all of the bases that came with these models? I'm gonna move these out of the way so I don't accidentally create a problem. These are the bases that just came with the models. These are all the bases that came with the Blood Bowl models that I've been working on. So that's going to be fun. I'm debating whether I want to attach them to the models and then do the basing, or if I want to base it all first and then glue the models on afterwards. I'm not sure yet. So that's something I'll have to figure out later. Let me see. Do I have any funny, weird... No, I don't. Not on this panel. Okay. You can engage an army by their base count. Yeah, exactly. And that is this. I was not expecting this. I was like, wow, this tiny little box has some weight behind it. I wonder why it's so heavy, because it can't have that many models in it. And then I opened the dang thing up and it's nothing but tightly packed plastic bags full of models. It definitely threw me for a loop. But yeah. Okay. I think this is where I've got to call it. I think this is where I'm done for tonight. We've gone places, and most of them have involved witch hunters with crazy looking models. The product is its own cushion. Exactly. They can't move if they're all butt to gut in there. So I don't know if is there anyone that you guys would suggest that I should raid into, because the only two people that are online right now for me are playing Metaphor ReFantazio, and it's the Midnight Sumo channel, which is playing Pokemon. So I don't really have anyone on here that I would feel like I could raid into. Let's see, is there anyone down here that I could potentially raid into? I'm at a loss. Oh, that's Rennie right here, but Dan Jones is doing art. Okay, sure, I'll raid Dan Jones. I don't know Dan Jones too well, but actually, what is their name? Isn't it because I'm Dan Jones? Am I losing my mind? Is there Dan Jones? Yeah, because I'm Dan Jones. Okay, I found them. They're doing D&D stuff. They're messing with Mapmaker software. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and raid into them. Okay, /raid. Okay, here we go. We're raiding. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. It was definitely a quieter night, but I had a lot of fun chatting with y'all, and I hope you guys had a decent time too, and I might see you tomorrow. I might not. We'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. But I will talk to you later, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.